Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. Today we're looking at verses 7 and 8 in Psalm 111. Let me get that right, because there may be somebody today that's just joined us for the first time. We want you to be at home here. We're looking today at Psalm 111. Let me just review real quick what we've gone over. We've said that this psalm is about the great works of the Lord, and we can say that the first thing he said was God's works are great. The second thing is they're memorable. The third thing is they're done faithfully. The fourth thing, and that's today, is they are eternal. Okay, so he's talking about the works of the Lord, the psalmist here, and what the works of the Lord are. They're great, they're memorable, faithful, and eternal. So we're going to read verses 7 and 8 and see what he has to say about the eternal nature of God's works. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. Now, verity is a word that maybe we're not familiar with in modern English language. It means faithful. It means true. And it means true to the point that there is no other truth besides this. This is verity. There is only truth here. And judgment. So his works, the works of his hands, are verity and judgment, or truth and judgment. His commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and are done in truth and uprightness. Now, what is it? What does he mean there? They stand fast forever. What's the they? The they is his commandments. And isn't it interesting that he links the works of God now with what God has said? His works are verity and judgment. His commandments are sure. Remember, in Hebrew poetry, and we've talked about this before, there's that parallelism where we get a double and sometimes quadruple definition of a single idea. And what's what we're getting here is this parallelism. His works are verity, judgment. His commands are his works as well. They're sure. So if his commands are part of his works, then we can say that his word is great, memorable, faithful, and eternal. They stand fast forever and ever. Well, we just got approval there, didn't we, of that whole idea that the Word of God is eternal. Forever and ever they stand fast. They're not going to be moved. It doesn't matter what happens. Nothing's going to change in your life or in the life of the world that will change the Word of God. It remains true forever. And they are done in truth and righteousness. What is done in truth and righteousness? The commandments are the works of God, which are the commandments, eternal and done in truth and uprightness. So again, we have this statement, really it's being repeated here several times. Their verity and judgment, their truth and uprightness. So the same word apparently is being used in 7 and in 8, verity and truth. Judgment and uprightness are different words, but possibly the similar meaning here. And, it's interesting because whenever we stand before the Lord, He's going to judge us out of the things written in the book about what we've done, but He's going to judge us against a standard, and the standard is what? His Word. So His Word truly is judgment. And one day we will have to stand against the judgment of the Word of God according to how we've lived our life. And there's only one thing that's going to be there and stand as an advocate for us, and that is the blood of Christ. That alone will be our advocate in that day. And how you relate to that. Have you trusted in what Jesus did for you on the cross? Because if you have, then you can stand in that judgment despite your works, because Jesus took the penalty for your sin and for your crime. And He did it just for you. That, ladies and gentlemen, will last for an eternity. I hope you'll join me tomorrow as we look at verses 9 and 10 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.